This is exactly what you should do to structure your GCSE English literature essays if you want a grade 9. My name's Tilly, I got majority grade 9s at GCSE, and I want to give you my top study tips and tricks for every single subject that will allow you to get those grades as well. So be sure to save this video if you want a grade 9 in English literature, and follow for advice for the rest of your GCSE subjects. Okay, so English literature, what paragraph structure should you use? Should you even use one? So I personally did use a paragraph structure, but I know a lot of people who didn't. Basically, the benefits of having a paragraph structure is that it will allow you to develop your chains of analysis, but also stop you from waffling. However, some people feel this is restrictive, and I completely understand that. The paragraph structure that I used was PEEAZZ, standing for point, evidence, explain, analysis, zoom in and zoom out. We all know what P is, but analysis, like why has the writer done this? Zooming in to a specific phrase, language technique, and then zooming out to look at the text as a whole. However, if I were to go back and do my GCSEs again, I probably wouldn't be this restrictive. The very best student know the assessment objectives for English literature, and this is what I'm going to tell you now. So AO1 is being able to read, understand and respond to text using relevant quotations. This is worth about 37% of your marks depending on your exam board. AO2 is analysing language, form, structure. Basically, why has the writer done this? What were the intended effects? And this is worth about 42% of your GCSE. That is more than AO1. AO3 is about understanding the relationship between texts and the context in which they were written. And that's about 15% of your GCSE. And then AO4 is basically spag marks, and this is 5%, just don't forget about it. So the structure of a question will be in this extract and in the text as a whole, explain how has presented This could be about a specific theme, a specific character. But the most important thing to remember, if you want those top grades, is you need to understand this extract in the context of the play as a whole. So what is the author doing or the writer doing in each scene or chapter or whatever it is to create these themes, to convey how these characters are acting, feeling, being perceived by the reader? How are they doing it? What language techniques are they using? Why does this have an impact? What was the intended effect? And like, oh, okay, if this happened in chapter 1, why did it happen in chapter 1? Why did it not happen in chapter 7? Just get yourself thinking about these things. I'm not saying write about that in the essay, but basically, if something happens in the beginning of a text or the middle or the end, there is a reason that the writer has structured it in that way. Do you see how you need to consider the text as a whole to effectively answer a question? Any question about a text. You need to have a point. Obviously, this is very hard for me to explain if I don't have a practice question in front of me, but you need to plan what you're going to write before you actually write it. Just have an idea. Don't do an extensive plan because you'll run out of time, but have some sort of idea.